Hi boys and girls, and welcome to your math lesson today. Today is Friday, May 1st, 2020. Today for your math lesson, what you're going to need is your math textbook and a pencil. And then for Mrs. P's extra activity today, you're just going to need some small objects. You can use some pom-poms, really you can use anything. You could use toy cars, you can use anything in your house for my extra activity today. Mrs. P has picked M&M chocolate eggs because I love chocolate and I thought it would be fun to use those today. So we're just going to begin today by just talking about some different subtraction stories. Then my challenge for you today is going to be to come up with your own subtraction stories to try on your family. So let me show you what I'm talking about. I have here 6 M&M eggs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now a subtraction story, remember when we were talking about the different animals, the snakes and the birds? We're going to try to make up one of our own today. So here's Mrs. Peterson's. Mrs. Peterson has 6 M&M chocolate eggs. If Mrs. Peterson eats 2 chocolate eggs, how many does Mrs. Peterson have left? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I had 6 chocolate eggs to begin with, and I eat 2 of them, I have 4 left. Let's try another one. Mrs. Peterson has 6 chocolate eggs. If Mrs. Peterson eats 3 chocolate eggs, how many does Mrs. Peterson have left? 1, 2, 3. So boys and girls, today at the end of my lesson, I'm going to say again, for you to come up with your own subtraction story. You can use anything around your house. Toy cars, pom-poms, maybe even a treat like what Mrs. Peterson did. And I want you to say it to someone in your family. Maybe a big brother, or big sister, or mom and dad, or grandma and grandpa. And I want you to tell them your subtraction story and see if they can tell you what the answer is. So I'm going to put my chocolate eggs over here so I don't eat them all. Now let's get started on our math textbook for today. Let's turn to page 75 in our textbook. So boys and girls, look, today we actually get to look at a real subtraction sentence. Before we were just kind of talking about subtraction, but we weren't really doing a real subtraction sentence. So today we get to start doing that. The instructions say, do and talk. So what we need to do is we need to look at these pictures and these subtraction stories and figure out what the answer is. Let's start at the top one with the mouse. So, originally, there was 6 balloons. And then what happened, boys and girls? The mouse popped 2. 1, 2. So we had 6, there was 6 balloons to begin with. Minus 2 equals what? And then the mouse popped 2. So in this picture, they've already showed us how many he popped. Let's count how many are left. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. So there is 6 balloons, and the mouse popped 2, and we have 4 left. 6 minus 2 equals 4. Let's look at the squirrel story. So, there was 1, 2, 3, 4 balloons to begin with. And then what happened, boys and girls? The squirrel popped how many? 1. So in this box, we're going to write a 1. So we had 4 balloons, and the squirrel popped 1. So we put a 1 in that box. Now we need to figure out how many balloons are left now that the squirrel popped one. Let's count. 1, 2, 3. We're going to write 3 in the second box. So we had 4 balloons to begin with. Then the squirrel popped 1 balloon. And there are 3 balloons left. Make sure you've written a 1 in the first box and a 3 in the second box. Good job. Let's look at this one. Now for this one, they didn't tell us anything. We have to fill in all of the answers. So let's work together to figure out what goes in each of these boxes. In the first box, we need to write how many balloons we had to begin with. Let's count how many balloons we have. Mrs. P is going to do her ticking method just to make sure I don't forget a balloon. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So in this first box, we need to write an 8. Good job. So we had 8 balloons to begin with. Then let's see, how many did the duck? I think this is a duck. I guess it could be a duckling or a little bird, little yellow bird. How many did the duck pop? 1. So in the next box, we need to write a 1. Good job. So we had 8 balloons and the bird popped 1. How many balloons do we have left? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 are left. We had 8 balloons and the bird popped 1. So we have 7 left. 8 minus 1 equals 7. If you're not quite done, feel free to pause the video. But if you are, let's turn the page. Now this is our last page today, boys and girls. We're just going to do 2 pages today. Let's see what the instructions are for this page. Subtract. Write the numbers. So here we're looking at some cars, some motorbikes, and some trucks. Let's look at this first picture. If we have 4 cars, it says 4 and then blank equals what? So we have 4 cars. If 1 car drives away, how many cars do we have left? So we have 4 cars. How many are driving away, boys and girls? 1. So we're going to put a 1 in this box. So we had 4 cars and 1 drove away. 4 minus 1. How many cars do we have left? Let's count. 1, 2, 3. Let's write a 3 in the second box. Okay, so 4 minus 1 equals 3. Let's try the next one, and then I'm going to leave the last one for you to do by yourself. So we have 5 motorbikes to begin with. And then we need to figure out how many drive away and then how many are left. We have 5 motorbikes. And how many look like they're driving away, boys and girls? 2. So we need to write a 2 in this box. So we have 5 minus 2 equals what? Now we need to figure out that once these 2 drove away, how many are left? Let's count. 1, 2, 3. 3. So 5 minus 2 equals 3. Okay, I'm going to challenge you to do the last one by yourself. You have 7 trucks to begin with, and then some drive away. How many trucks do you have left after this many drive away? So in this box, you're going to write how many drove away, and in this box, you're going to write how many are left. When you're all done, remember, I want to challenge you to come up with your own number or your own subtraction story, and I want you to tell it to somebody else. You can use anything in your house to come up with your subtraction story, and I want you to do it to somebody and see if they can figure out the answer. Maybe you want to do more than one. Maybe you want to do one to your mom and to your dad, or one to your grandma and to your big sister. But I want to see if you can come up with your own subtraction story. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. See you next week.